And I get asked that question all the time, is real estate AI proof? And it's absolutely not AI proof. In fact, my name is Pete Mitchell. I am the founder of AI Lead Automation. I'm reminded of a story about telegraph operators back when we used the telegraph. Apparently, these guys were so good at doing Morse code, and it was so much ingrained in who they were. Like, I'm a telegraph operator, and they were so good at what they did that they had distinct styles, so much so that other telegraph operators could totally tell, oh, that's Bob, oh, that's Frank, that's Bill over there. I can tell his style of telegraphing, which to me is crazy, right? Because all telegraph is Morse code, which is just dots and dashes, and they're just, boom, 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 boom. But apparently they developed styles because that's who they were. That's what they did. They were telegraph operators. And if you think about it, telegraph came first, and then came the telephone. And when the telephone came around, it basically replaced the telegraph. And so if you were a telegraph operator, if you were Bob or Billy or Joe or Susan, and you were like really good at doing that, and you see this new technology coming down the road, and you're like, it's never gonna happen, it's never gonna work, it's never gonna take over, it's too complicated, and then boom, you find yourself out of a job. That's what we're seeing in real estate right now. We are seeing the industry change before our very eyes, and we're gonna see a lot of real estate agents put to pasture by AI. It's absolutely coming, and it's coming right now, very, very fast. And I get asked that question all the time, is real estate AI proof? And it's absolutely not AI proof. In fact, we totally embrace AI. We use AI to automate our lead generation for our real estate clients. We use AI to pre-qualify prospects. We use AI to book appointments. And that's just one aspect. We're gonna start seeing AI take over probably Zillow. And people will be talking to an AI bot, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And Zillow's probably just gonna go, all right, here are the homes that you're looking for. And by the way, let me tell you about this one, and let me give you more details than we normally do just by reading the descriptions. That stuff is 100% coming. In fact, every time we see these major shifts in different industries, we always see people complain, and we always see people deny the truth. Oh, it's not gonna happen, it's gonna take forever. I'm old enough to remember when the internet came out, right? I guess I was technically alive when, the internet was founded, if you will. I believe it was in the 1970s. But what we saw in the 1990s was, some of you who were around then remember this company called America Online. And they did something that we used to call carpet bombing the world with their little CD discs, their CD-ROMs, which would get you 5 or 10 hours free of the internet, and then they hook you on their monthly subscription. I don't know how many of those things I got, but they became one of the biggest companies, and then they bought, I believe it was Time Warner, and then finally they got put out into pasture because you no longer had to use dial-up anymore. High-speed internet came around. And we see industries change, and we see people deny it. In fact, the fax telegraph, as it was called, was created in the 1930s. And then all of a sudden, we started to have individual fax machines. I mean, when I first started in business, I had a fax machine. That's what you had to have. And then as time started to progress, it was like, well, I don't technically need a fax machine anymore. Every once in a while, someone's got to fax me something, so I'm going to get an e-fax number. So you might remember that company, e-fax. In fact, before I did this video, I had to go look. I'm like, are they even still around? And apparently they are. Apparently there are some people who still fax. But what e-fax did is it gave you a phone number that you could give to people, and when people faxed that phone number, you would get it as an email, because email had basically replaced the fax machine. And what we're seeing is industries change, and we see how people don't want to change with it. And AI is absolutely going to penetrate and totally jack up the real estate industry, and people aren't going to make it. If you've ever heard the phrase before, adapt or die, that's what's going on in real estate right now. If you are not fully embracing AI, You're going to be out of business in the next 5 years. Not even 10. It's going to be 5 years and you're going to be gone and done because the industry is changing that quickly and you got to change with it. And the benefit is we do get to change with it. We get to actually improve our services. In fact, if you're on what I call the front lines, like you were literally, look, I'm going to embrace this technology. I'm going to take advantage of it. You have the chance to leapfrog ahead of everyone else. In fact, I was reading a book recently, a Passive Prospect, really good book about a couple of guys who got licensed in December of 2020 and then wrote this book maybe 2.5 years later. And basically, December of 2020 gets licensed, or the first guy gets licensed, and he starts doing YouTube videos. He's like, look, I'm just going to embrace this technology of doing YouTube videos on my cities and all the cities that are around me. And he does that. And the first 4 months, he gets nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, squat. Then he gets his first deal. Then he gets a second. And within 18 months, he does 261 transaction sides and over $3 million in commissions. The only marketing he ever did? YouTube. He just embraced something. As a brand new person in the industry, just said, look, I'm going to embrace this new thing and go for it. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about these massive shifts. And we're absolutely going to see that with AI. AI is already making a massive shift. Like how we use it at agentfollowupai.com is we actually use AI to automate our lead generation process for our real estate clients. We use AI to pre-sort and pre-qualify the prospects. And we use AI to book the appointment. So all the agents got to do is actually go out there and talk to people who are red hot, pre-sold on using that agent. They're ready to go. That kind of thing is going to be changing the industry. And the question for you is, are you going to adapt or are you going to die? Because it's one or the other. There is no treading water in this new world. You either grow or you die. It's as simple as that. So I'd encourage you to embrace AI. It's changing the world and we're just at the beginning of it. And man, in another 2 years, who knows where this thing is going to be? If you don't embrace AI, you're going to die. If you want to see what we do with AI, I got a great little video up on it, agentfollowupai.com. Check it out. You'll see exactly how we're doing it. You'll see how we're running ads. You'll see some of the conversations that our AI has with our prospects. Check it out, agentfollowupai.com.